When I was starting to be more and more involved, I would say, even obsessed with Shostakovich's music and the whole story of his life, I remember talking to Jim about, we really should do something together. And I had this idea about Shostakovich even back then, of something dramatic. In this long circle of time, the quartet became involved in another project about Shostakovich called The Noise of Time, which featured the last quartet. This was with Simon McBurney. And in the course of doing that, Simon's brother Jared, who is a Russian scholar, especially Russian music expert, he said, "You know about the Black Monk and Shostakovich?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, the Chekhov story. I said, "I don't know that story." He said, "Well, Shostakovich was obsessed with this story through much of his life and always wanted to make this into an opera." So that led to this idea of, well, how could we interweave these two things, Shostakovich's life, his music, and then on the other side, Chekhov. So
when Phil brought up Chekhov, it was like ringing a fire bell because, I do my 10 minutes to anybody who ever listens about how, Chekhov is the highest level that you get to in theater. The thing where, the point where it's funny and it's funny and your heart is being broken at the same time, but it's still funny because it becomes funny in a different way. And that moment, that place, that crossroads between humor and pathos and tragedy is almost impossible to find, and suddenly we were being handed on a platter a connection between the man who could write that and the musician and composer who could write that musically, and that they interwove in real life. And that seemed like almost a guarantee of a good place to start.